My name is Keith Lilja. I'm one of the owners here at Tala Coffee Roasters. I also do our roasting and our graphic design work. We're in the training lab of our Libertyville headquarters. So this is where we do all of our production roasting. We also have a cafe. I was working at a previous coffee roasting company here in town for a while and met two of my best friends, Stefan and Joanna. We just really fell in love with specialty coffee, fell in love with the service side of things, getting to give coffee, give people a new experience of what coffee could be and should be. But we always kind of had this idea that we wanted to do it in a slightly different way. And so we were always kind of talking in cahoots, and we were like, man, it would be really cool if we were able to do our own thing or kind of do it this way or do it a little differently. And kind of as those conversations were happening, one of my best friends, Ryan, he was a franchisee of a pizza company here in town for about 15 years. And he was looking to get out of pizza and basically came to me and was like, hey, have you ever thought about opening your own coffee roasting company? And I was like, man, that's all I've ever wanted to do the past 3 years. And so it ended up being this perfect synergy of him sort of needing and wanting to do something different that was fulfilling. And me and Stefan and Joanna just seeing, I think, a true opportunity to bring specialty coffee to the suburbs where it just really wasn't existing in the way that we kind of had seen it exist all over the place. So that was kind of the thing that brought us all together. So we started the company, Tala Coffee Roasters, back in 2017. It's in a small little warehouse unit here, 900 square feet. We were just roasting, selling coffee online, very humble beginnings. Yeah, we were doing farmers markets, just trying to make it. So it was a year of about doing that. And then we opened our first cafe in 2018 in Highwood and kind of have expanded since then. And so now we have a cafe here that we've expanded into in the roastery here in Libertyville. And then we have another cafe in Winnetka as well. So it's been a true journey and just have felt super supported and cared for by the communities that we're serving coffee in. Yeah, so when we got started, again, we were just as a roastery. We didn't have any wholesale clients. We didn't have a cafe, no online presence at all. And so we had a small little 10-kilo roaster that at the time felt massive for us. It was just way bigger than our needs at the time. But slowly over year, especially then once we opened our cafe in 2018, we have, now the need for it. We use that roaster, that 10-kilo roaster, 15 pounds at a time, roughly, all the way up until last August. So we had it for about 5 or 6 years as we were going to expand into multiple cafes, as our wholesale side of things continued to grow. And then online presence, we just, surely needed a bigger roaster to be able to facilitate the amount of coffee that we were producing for the people that wanted it. So we went from about 15 pounds at a time to about 45 pounds at a time. And so there was a couple production days where I had about 450 pounds of coffee to roast, and 15 pounds at a time, 13 to 15 minutes at a time. It was a long roast day. So we were kind of in that. So we're like, okay, we need to upgrade. We are expanding, we are growing. So we need to get something a little bigger to facilitate it. So working with Mill City has been incredible, and their machines are awesome and their company's been really great. Here in the suburbs, for a while, we kind of felt like we were a little bit on an island, just where there wasn't a ton of specialty coffee. There wasn't really a lot of understanding and education about what specialty coffee was, how it was done, why it was done, or even just this idea that I think most people know that coffee is roasted, but they don't know the level of care and intention that it takes to produce a really great cup of coffee. And so I think in the community, it's been just incredible to see the willingness of all the community and people around the community, get excited about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and that they actually take ownership and they take it as that this coffee shop here in Libertyville, at our cafe in Highwood, that our cafe in Winnetka is their home community. And so it's just been truly incredible to provide that space and provide that education and provide that service. And the biggest thing for us is we really try to set ourselves apart in the way that we serve our customers. We like to get to know our customers' names because they're the ones that are coming into our house, right? So we want to treat them as guests. And so it's been really cool to see people take to that and now have an expectation that when they walk into a specialty coffee shop, that's what they're going to receive, because that's what they receive with us. And so it's been really cool to see the way that people have gravitated towards what we're doing and actually get really excited about supporting us and why they're supporting us, which is really cool. One of the biggest things for us is the way that we serve our coffee, the way that we portray our coffees, the way that we talk about them, the way that we engage and interact with our customers, whether they're customers in our cafe or wholesale customers, online customers. I think the biggest thing that we feel is that for a long time, specialty coffee was so shrouded in mystery, and is almost like you had to be on the in, you had to know the keywords, you had to know all the right things to say and all the things about coffee in order to engage in it and enjoy it. Even as professionals in the industry, we would walk into shops and feel like oh, I don't even belong here, right? And so if we don't feel like we belong there, then your average Joe that's used to drinking, lower quality coffee certainly isn't going to feel comfortable. And so we saw a big gap, I think, especially here in the suburbs. So we really, really focus on trying to portray our coffees in a very approachable way. And so like let people into that story and actually engage in conversations where they can come in and feel very confident and very comfortable about asking us questions about what we do, why we do it. Why is this? How come it tastes this way? And to not feel like they're asking a dumb question or feel like we're like turning our nose up at them. But we want that question. We want those engagements. We want that conversation because it only helps perpetuate what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then helps them, again, feel connected to our business and our coffee. So to us, that's a big thing. It's just this level of approachability. And I think it's truly beautiful in the past couple of years. We start to see the shift in specialty coffee, that it's not just like for the elite, the home hobbyists, the people that really know, but it's for everyone. And the more people that are drinking better quality coffee, it's a win-win for everyone that's in the industry, for us as a business and our customers, because they just get to have better coffee. Right now, this Finca Angamaza, it's a coffee from Ecuador from our friends at Coffee Quest. It's an incredibly sweet, complex coffee, almost like dreamsicle, passion fruit, Rainier cherry. It's like super, super unique in the fact that it's just a traditional washed coffee that's done incredibly well. I think in a world where there's a lot of experimentation going on in fermentation, which those coffees are fantastic as they exist, just as they are. But to me, there's this really cool idea that you can get amazing, amazing flavors from a traditionally washed coffee. And to me, this like really highlights the beauty and benefit of like when a washed coffee is done really well with really high quality coffee. So that's kind of what you get. So this has been like one of my favorites by far. I haven't been to Origin, but I think that's like for us, that's one of the biggest things is like the past 7 years has been a big push of expansion and growing, kind of seeing what's next to be able to get our business to a place that's like financially feasible and supporting not only the community, but our employees and our staff and ourselves, even with SEA, right? This is our first year getting to go. And so it's been a long, like 7 years of certainly saying yes to the things that are incredible and get to expand our business. But we've inherently had to say no to a lot of things. And so we are kind of on this like beautiful cusp of getting to say yes to all the things that we couldn't before, now that the business is kind of like stabilized and again, really well supported by the employees. And that's the thing is like, there's so many opportunities like through all the different importers because they have these direct relationships. So it's very easy. It's just a matter of like, can you go? So we're super, super excited to like step into a season where that's the case. And we actually get to like go meet the people at Finca Angamaza and like get to meet the producers that are like producing these incredible coffees. And I think that's one thing that's super unique in our industry and in specialty coffee is like we get all the credit as the roasters and all we can do is try to push a little bit of spotlight on the producers, the farms, the places at origin that are like producing it. Because us as roasters, my job is to literally not mess up the incredible effort that they put into these coffees. So to me, that's like one really cool thing and special about getting to go to Origin is to get to like applaud them for what they're doing. Because again, I get all the credit here in our local community and all we can do as best as we can is highlight what they're trying to do in their coffees. And that's the thing that's super cool is like the more people that are, again, our cafe is full up right now, but the more people that are drinking specialty coffee and saying yes to what we're doing, that's saying yes to their business. And so as our business grows, kind of like we talked about before, as our business grows, their business will have to grow too, which only helps further support their livelihood and their families. Which is like truly incredible circular, circle of life moment. It takes that coffee tree 6 years to even produce fruit and it's not even gonna be good the first year. So like a farmer starting a new like venture into specialty coffee, it's like a 7-year investment at minimum and 7 years of not making a single dime. It's like, it honestly is so crazy. And I think that's like one of the things is that doesn't get highlighted enough. And I think what's really special about what we do about specialty coffee in general is it's like starting to like give that storyline to the customers. And it's like, it's crazy that you can come in and still get a $3 cup of coffee when all of that time and effort has gone into something so special. I think also one of the most unique things about specialty coffee or just coffee in general, technically it's a luxury item. Like I've like started to make this connection where I'm like most other luxury things, you buy the thing and you drink it. You buy the thing, you wear it, and it's luxury and you get to enjoy it like just as it is. But it's truly crazy in specialty coffee that's like, or coffee in general, it's getting you most of the way there if you're purchasing high quality coffee. And that's going to taste way better even if you botch it. But if you're knowledgeable and understanding and educated about how to brew it and why you're doing what you're doing, like you're only going to continue to get better and better. And I think that's like one of the craziest things is with coffee is like you have to be a part of the process. Even if you're using an automatic drip maker, like you're still a part of the process and there's still variables that can affect that, which is so cool to me. And I think it's like one of the only things like in the world that actually asks the buyer to be a part of the process beyond just like pouring out or just putting something on. It's really special. Early on in our company, we were pretty small and we have this understanding that we wanted our coffee and our product to be represented well in the bags that we were putting it. And especially in a season where we didn't have a cafe, we weren't really customer facing. We also didn't have a huge financial outlay to be able to purchase really high quality. So we were doing as best as we could. But on the horizon, all of the major companies that we really looked up to in specialty coffee, we started seeing this very consistent through line that all of these companies were all using Savor brands. And to us, that was one of the biggest things. We're like, dang, like all the cool companies that are really doing special stuff are all using the same custom bag company. And so that was always like on the horizon for us where we were like, man, could you imagine like how cool it would be to get to work with them and to have our coffee in your bags? And so after, I think it was about a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, we kind of reached that stage where we were selling enough coffee and we had, the means to be able to like start to investigate that. So I designed up the bag. I remember, approving the art, seeing it, and then having that first like purchase. And I remember we were like so excited. The 4 of us owners, we were so pumped. We felt like we were on top of the world. Like we've made it in specialty coffee because we were getting to work with Savor brands, which is like so fun and so fascinating to me. And you guys have been incredible since. And I think it's a level of understanding that like we're spending a lot of time on the product that is going in these bags. And so we want the bags that they're coming in to be just as high quality and just as intentional and thought out. Once the coffee leaves our warehouse or leaves our cafe, it's going to someone's cabinet, someone's countertop. And we want to make sure that this is a lasting impression of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So the bags certainly help do that. Like I said, I do all of our graphic design work. And so this was a really fun part of the process for me. I love just this idea of designing something on a flat computer screen and then getting to see it come to life. Through Savor brands, I think I was able to see that there's a lot of potential of what we could do. And as a designer, having more freedom allowed for a lot more creativity. And so for us, the biggest thing with this bag is we want it to be clean and something recognizable, but not something too over the top that would sort of detract from the coffee itself or detract from who we are or to feel, again, almost unapproachable. And so we wanted something that would be almost ubiquitously beautiful and recognizable for people. This by no means is a coffee flower in any way, but the word Tala means things in a lot of different languages that are inherently sweet or beautiful or sort of center point or community point. And so we love this really symmetrical flower design and something that was ubiquitously beautiful. So I designed up this very symmetrical, very clean flower that would sort of communicate that idea. We wanted to create that new meaning for people to understand what Tala meant purely by what they looked at in the logo and the design. Here in the suburbs, this is maybe the first time that they're coming in contact with specialty coffee. And we want it to look like a bag of coffee. We want it to look like something that they recognize and feels obtainable and approachable. So we love just this clean white design with our logo. And then again, to really highlight where the coffee's coming from. The producer is obviously very important to us. And I think for a long time, just the quad seal, like box bottom bag was kind of like the standard. And for us, it was like, oh my gosh, like the bag stands up so neatly. It looks great on a shelf, one right after the other. And so we love just like that really, really simplistic design that allowed the entire design of the bag to be showcased. Another big thing for us is that we love the idea that we can incorporate a zipper. When someone takes it home, they're just going to see our brand, our company through the bag on their shelves at any point. As opposed to once it's home, you cut that top, put it in another container, and then that bag just goes into the trash. So for us, that was a really special thing is that we have a presence in our community's home day in, day out. We love the matte feel of the bags because they're not reflecting. Again, they look premium. They feel premium. When we receive samples, we're like, this is nice. This is great. Like, this is what we want our coffee to go in. But one of my favorite things is just this idea on our back, under our logo, this Tala flower is right where the degassing valve is. So I love this idea that you get to squeeze the bag and smell the coffee through the graphic design flower. It was a really fun little detail for me. Yeah, and just something that would stand out and again, look good on people's shelves or in their cabinets. Again, as they're interacting with maybe our company for the first time or interacting with specialty coffee for the first time, that it was very clear what it was and why we were doing it. And then I think sometimes like as a designer, I want to kind of push the envelope creatively. And what's weird for me, what was really challenging is almost trying to like restrain from doing too much. There's a lot of things that, especially that you guys are able to do and that I've seen with other companies, I'm like, dang, like that's like a really, really like, that's a nice, really, really well designed bag. But then some of it for us is, again, we're trying to get these into hands of customers. And if they don't know what's inside, if it feels almost like too modern or too like forward thinking, then it almost kind of detracts from the people that we're trying to serve it to, right? And in our communities, how can we make it as approachable as possible and then let the coffee like stand out for itself? One thing that's been super helpful for our company and just like myself is that I'm working directly, so I can communicate directly what I need in the way that the bags look or like how things are being laid out, not only the design of it, but then the purchasing side of it. So it's that like real relational connection that I have with you guys. So I think the biggest thing for us is we couldn't do what we're doing without our incredible staff. All of our employees are absolutely incredible and help support the vision that we've kind of put forth in our communities. And so we're super thankful for all of our staff members that have been part of the business, you know, since day one or today. But we're super thankful for them. We're super thankful for you guys and all that you guys have done to help, again, carry out our vision for our customers and what we want to portray our coffee to be. So just super thankful for all the people that supported us.